All right, guys, back again for another live show. Everything went so well last time. I thought we'd give it another try, talk about a couple of headlines, some things that's happened in the last week here in Gainesville, briefly talk about the real estate market, what we see going on there, and then again, answering some of the questions that you guys have been submitting that I definitely appreciate. Like last time, if you're watching this live in the comments, just let me know where you're watching from. I get so many people reaching out from all over the place. So it's always great to hear the different areas that you're watching from and tuning in. If you're watching this on the replay, just comment replay watch. We'll go ahead and jump in and get started on some of the new headlines and things that are happening in Gainesville. One of the biggest stories is going to be the school board zoning. So for the last few years, they have been talking about changing the zoning maps and changing where all the different neighborhoods and everyone is zoned for. More recently, they were talking about doing just a spot zoning. So just a couple of elementary schools that they were looking at changing the mapping for. After some feedback from the public and some, people reaching out with comments, they decided to go ahead and do a full comprehensive rezoning plan. Now, this is going to be a pretty big deal because they haven't done anything like this to this scale in 20 years. And obviously, a lot has changed over 20 years. So the comprehensive rezoning will be for a kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. So all the grades, all their schools, they're going to be looking at everything. If you're already in the public school, this last week, you would have gotten an email with a schedule, a calendar of different events where you can come. They're going to listen to the public, hear what they have to say. Here is the calendar events coming up through April and May at the different schools that they're going to be hearing public comments. There's also an email that you could reach out to. So I'm very curious to see how this is going to play out because it's definitely going to affect a lot of people, a lot of kids. The plans are expected to be ready and in effect for the school year of 2024-25. So it's not that far out, and we're going to see some major changes. And on the real estate side, I mean, everyone knows property values can be tied to the school zones and how good the schools are around that home and that neighborhood. So I'm really curious to see what they end up doing with the different schools and how they're going to end up balancing this out. It's definitely something that we'll keep an eye on and keep bringing any updates. But if you have questions on this, definitely don't hesitate to reach out. The next story that I wanted to hit on is going to be with GRU. It's always a hot topic here in Gainesville, but recently, let's see, who was it? Actually, State Rep Chuck Clemens filed a bill on Monday. Basically, the core meat of this bill would be to take away the power from the commissioners, the city commissioners, all those decision-making processes and everything that they go through, take that away from the commissioners and move it over to a board that's elected by the governor. There's a lot of still gray area in this bill, and honestly, this has come up a couple of times, and things like this have happened in the past when they've tried to take some of this away from the commissioners, and it hasn't played out. So this one does appear to be got a little bit more steam behind it. So we'll see how far it gets. One of the things that this article really mentioned and highlighted was the financial crisis GRU is having with $1.7 billion in debt. That, along with just raising rates, everything's constantly getting more expensive. So they're definitely taking some time to look at this. We'll see how far it gets. It will need to go, the bill will need to pass through one or two more committees before being voted on the floor of the House and the Senate and then getting to the governor. So we'll see how the rest of it plays out. You never know if something will happen or if it's going to stay the same. But it's another story, again, that we'll keep an eye on to see how things play out because the utility rates are a common complaint in the area. We'll definitely say that. Now, this next one is going to be a major land use zoning potential change that just went through, I believe, in the last week. It was a massive rezoning that was approved by the city, and that could lead to the largest development in the area. So this potential development would allow for a minimum of 668 homes on the minimum side, but on the maximum could be roughly 12,000 homes. So just as a frame of reference, a lot of people know Hale Plantation, a large community in our area. Hale Plantation has roughly about 2,600 homes. So imagining a community in an area with 12,000 would be a huge project, a huge undertaking. This potential development is going to be located out off State Road 121 and US 441, kind of out on the northwest side near Highway Patrol. There's Walmart just over 441 that direction. So I'm definitely curious to see how this plays out because it would be a massive undertaking. It potentially add a lot of homes to the area and what could be more affordable homes potentially. So it could hit a big need that our area has when it comes to affordable housing. But we'll see. It's definitely got a long ways to go. It's early on in the project. So we'll see how things play out with that and definitely keep you posted. Real quickly, we'll hit on what's going on in our real estate market here right now. I pulled up the numbers this morning to have you guys as up to date as possible. We had roughly 436 active single family homes on the market in Alachua County. And then if you're looking only at Gainesville itself, there's 260 homes. So I wanted to dial that back a little bit more and get really specific. A lot of people I'm working with are in that 300,000 to 400,000 range. When we're looking in that range today, there was only 51 active homes. And if we took out new construction, that took us down to 35 homes. There's only 35 homes on the market, Alachua County, single family in Gainesville. That's just, again, not enough homes to fit the need and the demand. So that is causing us still to be in a seller's market. As an example, I put this home on the market Thursday. Within a few hours, we had already scheduled 10 showings, and within a few hours, an offer had already come in. It went under contract the same day it went on the market, priced at $325,000. So it was move-in ready, good northwest location. Again, kind of what I've been saying over and over for those move-in ready, priced right, good location homes. They are selling quickly, still with some competition. So if you're looking in that market, I definitely say have your finances in order, be ready to go because those move-in ready homes are still selling quickly. We are seeing on the other side of the market some homes sit longer if they're not priced right, if they need a little bit of work. Or if they're not in the ideal location, some of those could sit on the market a little bit longer. So it'll be interesting to see the way the rest of the year plays out. But so far, the seller's market is still causing homes to sell quickly and with some competition. So I wanted to throw that one up as an example. We also hit on the interest rates. I haven't seen much of a change over the last week. Interest rates right now, right about 6.5. So it'd be great for buyers if we could see those come down a little bit. Also great for sellers because typically if you're selling, you're going to turn around and buy something. So I think if rates dropped, we would see some more homes come on the market. More sellers would consider selling their home at a more reasonable rate. But right now, like I mentioned, it's still at 6.5, not a whole lot of changes right there. So next, I also wanted to hit on a couple of questions that I've been getting. One that came in was going to be as we get closer to summer, people trying to make their plans. And a question that's come in a few different times are some of the best beaches that are nearby Gainesville. Our family loves to get out to Crescent Beach along with Cinnamon Beach. Out to Crescent Beach, it would take you about an hour and a half, maybe a little bit less. Really popular beach. It's really easy for the day trip just to get out there for the day, come back same day. It's also nice because Crescent Beach is so close to St. Augustine. You can go to downtown St. Augustine. There's plenty to do over there. A lot of good restaurants, some shopping. They also, as we approach, have a great 4th of July fireworks show. So if that's not on your calendar, if you've never been, it'd be worth checking out. And then, like I mentioned, we've started going to Cinnamon Beach a lot more. That's a little bit further south on the Palm Coast. It's more, I think it's actually maybe semi-private beach, but not nearly as populated, pretty quiet, nice place to go, especially if you're going to spend a week and hang out with the family. So those two are high on our list. Another question that I've been getting a bunch recently, especially as people are relocating from South Florida, I get the question weekly, definitely, is why we have so few block home construction. So many people moving from South Florida. They've been hit with hurricanes, bad storms. And in our area, really frame stick-built homes are going to be the majority. we are relatively centralized in the state. So by the time hurricanes and major storms do make their way to Gainesville, they're usually going to be relatively weak, lots of times downgraded all the way to a tropical storm. And our building codes just don't require the same wind load as if you're on the coast and in the south. So, unfortunately, if you're used to block construction, there are some block homes. A lot of them are going to be a little bit older, maybe 70s built. There was one builder more recently that was doing block homes, but they're just not as common. So, that'll be an adjustment if you're coming from South Florida and looking for a home. Again, boarding up windows and dealing with those sort of really bad storms is not something we typically have to deal with here in Gainesville. The biggest issue we have is with some strong winds, we do have a ton of trees. So down trees is usually the major issue, along with flooding in some areas. But besides that, again, frame built homes have been holding up for us locally. Another question I had was going to be on the property tax side of things. Alachua County does have historically relatively high property taxes. So I've had people reaching out asking about some other counties, maybe close to Gainesville and Alachua County, but that are on the outside that have lower property taxes. So you can check a website like taxrate.org to get some more information. I went through there and looked at a few different options. As you can see, you've got Bradford County, Dixie County, Gilchrist. Those are all going to be definitely lower. Over in Bradford County, you've got Stark and Lake Butler. That's going to be north of Gainesville. Then you've got Gilchrist that is also going to be lower. That's northwest where Trenton is. Another area to look is going to be Levy County. It's out where Bronson is on the southwest side. Or if you want to go to the east towards Putnam County where Palatka is and out towards Hawthorne. Again, there's a lot of areas outside of Gainesville and outside of Alachua County where the property taxes drop off a bit. Pretty much any county around the edges would be worth looking at. It really depends on the atmosphere, the community, and the town that you're comfortable with, that you see yourself living. But if you're looking outside of Alachua, there are some lower property tax options out that way. Then I also wanted to hit on the parade of homes that's happening right now. So it just started this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. It will also be next weekend, Saturday and Sunday. This is where the Builders Association opens up some of their model homes, some of the homes. They may not even be on the market. Some of these are custom homes just built for customers, but it's a great opportunity to walk through, see new styles, new trends, floor plans, and then just overall, if you're looking at new construction, to look at the builder's quality. It's just a great opportunity to look. It is free. If it's something you're interested, it is only going to be next weekend though. So, and then they'll be wrapping up. I believe they also do it in the fall. But at the end of this, I will include a video of some of the parade of homes that we toured last year to give you a feel for what that looks like and what you can expect. But I definitely appreciate everyone hopping on with me, and we'll try to do some of these live shows a little more often, bring you some of those local Gainesville headlines. And as always, if you have any questions about moving, relocating to Gainesville, don't hesitate. Send me an email, shoot me a text, or give me a phone call. Just let me know how I can help. Have a great day.